2009, we were lucky enough to find a wonderful guy who sounded incredibly close to Wayne's Mickey. He was working as an illustrator at Hallmark in Kansas City, of all places.
Kansas City?
Yes.
Oh, fellas, I think that's our cue.
Gosh, you know we're supposed to be on stage now.
Look, it's Mickey, Donald and Goofy, Brett Iwan, Bill Farmer, and Tony Anselmo. All right, guys, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Good.
You checked us up backstage, and I thought, now how are we going to be funny?
Yeah, I know. I thought I was going to get through it. I really did. So Tony, Les mentioned that you studied directly from Becky. You want to tell us about that experience? How'd you meet him?
Well, I was already on the lot as an animator in traditional animation. At that time, we were working on Mickey's Christmas Carol, and Wayne was Mickey, and we were pals. He was in sound effects, and Clarence Nash was always on the lot, and I struck up a friendship with him, and he kind of, to use a corny phrase, took me under his wing. And I thought we were just having fun. He would come in my room and say, well, if Donald were in this situation, what would he say? Or if Mickey said that, what would Donald say? Say this word, say that word, and I thought, he must be bored. But I think he had what we didn't know at the time was he had leukemia. He didn't tell anybody. And so looking back on it, I think it was just that he was making sure that I could do it, and that I would be respectful of his legacy. And when he passed away, then I carried the torch. So I'm very protective of it, as we all are.
But it's not an easy voice to do. How long did it take you to really kind of master it?
It was really about 3 years, you know. It comes in stages, the sound, and then what you say and what you don't say. The personality is as much importance as how it sounds.
And you kind of help write the scripts because it is so hard to understand Donald, right?
Yeah, and that's just, it's like learning another language. You have to, and you know, you can't teach everybody in the company that language. It's like learning a very exotic language. So I have to go over the script and just take the same word that they want to use and get out the thesaurus and find a word with hard consonants instead of soft consonants, just to make it as intelligible as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. And so, Bill, Les also mentioned that you were new to town when you got the role of Goofy.
Yeah.
What brought you to this whole voice audition, and how did you end up even auditioning for the voice of Goofy?
Oh my gosh, well, I was a stand-up comic in Dallas, Texas at the time. My agent there said you ought to give it a shot in Hollywood with all the voices you do. Because I'd always bored my parents and family with impressions throughout my career. And I got out here, and about 4 months later, my agent said, do you do any of the Disney characters? They wanted to consolidate the voices, so there was always one voice, so there was consistency. And I said, gosh, I can kind of do a Goofy voice. And they seemed to like that a lot. Off and running. So I started January 23rd, 1987 was my first Goofy job, and it's been uphill ever since.
You always used to tell us that as a kid you used to sit in front of the TV and just imitate things like Captain Crunch. And
Oh, I would, you know. Ahoy, mateys, it's Captain Crunch cereal. Stays crunchy, even milk. Hey, Wookie, watch me pull a rabbit out of my head. You know,
hi-ho, Cranky Frog here with Miss Piggy.
Just do any kind of voice I do. Exit, stage left.
And you also do Pluto for us, right?
Oh, absolutely. Pluto, I can bark actually in all languages. For example, in English, it's wow. You know, in German, it's wow. French, it's wow.
Do it and finish.
Speaking of Pluto and all that languages, you remember we had a project early on. I had just started, and we couldn't find. I think some of you saw the clip reels that we played earlier on. That's also another aspect of Disney character voices, where we try to get all the characters to sound the same around the world, no matter what language they speak. And we could not find a German Goofy. We just couldn't. So we said we had some cartoons that we had to put into German, and so we had Bill come into the studio to do the German version phonetically. So,
And I don't speak German, so they got me this professor of German from, I believe, USC, who I don't think had ever seen a cartoon in her life. She was like looking at the cartoons and, why is Goofy falling out of the airplane? He's not killed. Like this. So it was like a 12-hour session, as I remember. It was one slide, you know, and as I understand it, I asked a few months later, what happened to the German thing that we did? And they said, well, it was pretty good, but you had an Austrian accent. And the German professor was from Austria. I had picked up her accent, so they couldn't use it.
So, and I will say one thing about Bill. If you know, some of you who may know Bill, Bill truly is goofy in real life. he really is. We have had experiences. I think one of my favorites is when he went to go set a Coke down on the soundboard and it started to tip. And
yeah, and there's a goofy curse that goes along with this voice. And one day I was in the studio and I had a Coca-Cola and I sat it down on the edge of the mixing board. But I didn't put it down solid. It was like half on, half off. It started to fall. I grabbed it. I hit the neck. The bottle started spinning, spewing Coke all over probably a couple of $100,000 audio board. Engineers are going, ah! Goofy follows me around all the time.
And you had a little goofy moment just here at D23?
Oh, I did. The other day I was at the Legends Luncheon and I was saying hi to Catherine Beaumont, the original voice of Wendy and Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland. We were talking and I backed up and ran into someone and he said, watch out! And I looked up and it was Bob Iger. I'm going, sorry, sir. He's got a great sense of humor and still here, so.
He's got a broken toe now, right? No, just kidding. And so Brett, this is 30th anniversary for Disney Character Voices, but your 10-year anniversary, right?
Yeah,
It's
hard to believe.
What have these 10 years been like for you? I mean, getting the gig of Mickey Mouse, come on.
I don't know how to answer that. In some ways it's flown by, in other ways it's hard to believe that it's been 10 years. I feel like I've had a lot of amazing experiences. I've learned a ton, I'm still learning a ton, and but overall it's incredible. I'm still kind of, it's a surreal experience, for sure.
What's the hardest thing about doing Mickey's voice?
The hardest thing is that it's a trick voice, and I'm highly susceptible to allergies and air quality and smog. And where do we work? Here in LA. So, I moved from Kansas City, where apparently the air was a little cleaner then, and I was slightly younger. So over the years, I've learned that, I have to be really vigilant with the weather and the different things I'm being affected with. So it takes its toll.
And you
sometimes.
told me you just visited the doctor, a couple weeks ago. And I thought that was a pretty funny story when they were looking down your throat.
First of all, they did one of those scope things where you can look at your vocal cords, which was just fascinating to me to see those things work and vibrate. And she had me do the, talking in falsetto, and even had me do the Mickey lap. She wanted to see how it was affected. And she was done, just everything looks healthy, you just got a little inflammation, probably from some allergies and stuff. She goes, man, most women can't hit those notes, so you're in pretty good shape. I'm not sure that was the diagnosis I was looking for, but thank you, nonetheless.
But that's what we like. That's awesome. It's great. So for all three of you guys can just take your turns. Did you share a moment with being such a famous character? Was there ever a very special moment or personal experience, maybe with a fan, from the years that you've been doing the voice? You want to start? Actually, start, Brett. Go for it.
Want to start? I think this counts. It was an experience with my brother, but he's a fan. I really learned to do the Mickey voice by listening to Wayne Allwine's performance in Fantasmic. It was one of my favorite shows growing up. I was 10 years old when it came out, listened to the soundtrack all the time, and Bill talks about singing from the TV and imitating voices. I imitated all the characters in Fantasmic. And I would play Fantasmic in my bedroom. And later on, my brother joined me and we would play Fantasmic out in the yard. We'd have the sprinklers going and he'd be running back and forth through the hoses. We'd play the soundtrack, of course, and my dad had a work projector, and we would project Fantasia, Sorcerer Apprentice, into the water to try to hear. We were high tech. We even got some fireworks, you know. We were living in Illinois at the time. We'd go across to Missouri, get fireworks, and shoot out bottle rockets. I think we forced my parents to sit and watch us put on the show. Anyway, it just, you know, it was quintessential Disney to me. It's like, it represented everything I loved about Disney Magic, and especially the performance of Mickey. So I just kind of imitated that over the years. Fast forward to a couple years ago, I think a lot of you probably got together. We updated Fantasmic, and I was asked to come into the studio to do Fantasmic, and I assumed it was for Tokyo or something. I'd done stuff before like that. But they told me, no, it's Disneyland. And I was actually hesitant. I didn't want to do it, you know, but they explained that there was enough changes that it was necessary. And they even said that there was a possibility that we're going to leave Wayne's finale line, Some Imagination, as Wayne, as a tribute, and I was all for that. I thought that'd be amazing. They had me record it anyway, and then they did special preview nights for the D23 folks here at the last Expo. My invitation was lost in the mail. I was not invited, but my brother and I found a way into the parks, and we watched from the sidelines over by Big Thunder Mountain, and watching the show, and it's pretty cool, and you're like, wow, that's crazy, I get to be a part of this thing that was so important to me when I was a kid. And the finale line came, and they ended up using my record for Some Imagination. And my brother put his hand on my shoulder and said, did you ever think that when we were kids, playing Fantasmic, that someday you would be a part of all this? And that's, you know, probably one of the most impactful moments. It's total full circle, and it really humbling for me, and just, you know, it's one of those moments where you go, this is incredible, I cannot believe this.
That's awesome. Really?
Over the years, I've discovered on how important these characters are to people in their lives. And that's meeting the fans, because so many people have come up, say, from a Goofy movie, and people would say, I couldn't talk to my dad. And they would say, I couldn't talk to my dad until we saw that movie, and it opened up a whole new relationship. I was in Florida once, and occasionally you get to meet celebrities who are enamored of these characters. I got to meet Muhammad Ali once, and at a party, and he asked me, I said, oh, I do the voice for the company and everything, and he says, well, do you talk to like kids in the hospitals? And I say, yeah, I'll Make-A-Wish Foundation, you know, Famous Phone Friends, organizations like that. And he goes, man, then you're my hero. And I just fainted right there, I think. But the most probably meaningful event was a Wayne and Rusey moment. There was a child that I believe had leukemia, had called, wanted to talk to Mickey and Minnie, and I was doing Pluto at that time on that particular call. And, you know, the girl was, we heard from her mom, she was resisting treatment, had a bad outlook, was kind of failing. And Wayne said, gosh, you know, when Pluto takes his medicine, he feels a lot better. And I go, whoa, whoa, you know. And just that, about a month or two later, we got a letter from the woman who said that because of that, talking to Mickey, the child's whole attitude changed. She went into remission and was willingly taking the therapy and got better. That alone just showed me how important these characters are, and I never try and forget that when I'm doing this voice.
I'd like to take it back to, because I'm all about legacy, I'm all about the history of these characters, and that we're really only carrying on what came before us as best we can. And you just reminded me of the time we were at, Wayne was he was never about himself. It was always about his audience and the kids and the performance. And there was a little boy who hadn't bought what he was supposed to buy to sign, and the person that was running the event said, you can't have that signed, and the kid started to cry and run away. And Wayne got up and went after him and signed his thing. I just thought that was sweet. And Clarence, speaking about legacy, I went with Clarence Nash across the street from Disney to St. Joseph's Hospital, and there was a little girl who was crying. She had her tonsils out, and the nurse said, she's gonna hurt herself if she doesn't stop. And Clarence had his duck puppet, and he went up to the little girl and said, shut up! And she did.
we could tell stories for hours, but I think maybe what you guys would like to hear is maybe them do the voices. So we're going to step over to our little mock recording studio over here, so if you guys want to go on over there. And we've got a special script written specifically for D23 with these guys. But every good script needs a villain. So in our script today, we've written in the game's constant nemesis. So please welcome to the stage the voice of Pete. He's got really great sexy legs. Check this out, the one and only Jim Cummings. Jim, you got the shorts on. It's looking good.
Hey, it's
all right.
See, Bill,
Look at that little cat call and everything.
Being goofy. See?
Okay, well, are we ready to do this?
All right.
Here we go. So really, my job in the studio as director, this is what I get to do. All I really do. These guys are so phenomenal. I just say, take one. Go.
Fellas, we're at the D23 Expo.
Gosh, they said folks are going to want to take pictures with us and get autographs. Well, where do you think we should set up, Mickey?
How about over here? This looks like a good spot.
Out of my way, you yardsticks! That primo table is mine!
Yeah, Pete, we spotted that table first.
Finders keepers, Petey.
Yeah, well, you losers are gonna be weepers, on account of because my fans deserve to see me in the best light, and at the biggest table. After all, I need lots of space for my pals' pictures and foam fingers and signature bobbleheads and whatnot.
I guess we can set up over in this corner, pals.
Okie dokie, I got the table.
And I've got our markers and our pictures. Well, the crowd should be here any minute.
Oh, hey, what's the matter, boys? Not popular enough? Or is everybody just here to see me?
Don't listen to him, guys. I'm sure we'll get lots of fans real soon. Gosh, I wonder how come nobody's stopping by to take our pictures.
Well, do you think maybe we should have worn our Kingdom Hearts costumes?
I tried, but security wouldn't let me in with my keyblade.
Come on now, folks, stand back, don't push, form a line. You'll all get your photos and autographs. And don't forget to purchase up a bobblehead or 10. No need to look at the knuckleheads over in the corner. Nothing to see there. What?
Oh, I'm gonna go give Pete a piece of my mind. Hey, Petey, it's
Are you all right?
Well, I'm okay. I just tripped over my feet again.
Wait, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Folks are coming our way.
You mean you want me to fall again?
Yeah, and Donald, throw another tantrum. Everybody seems to love it.
Wow.
Whoa, Donald, finally get to see our fans.
Wait, hey folks, where are you going?
Good to see you.
How's come you're lining up for those chowderheads? I'm the pretty one, and I got the best merchandise. Come back!